Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. In this discussion, we will explain Microsoft Power BI, its architecture, and its applications.
So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the big picture. What Power BI actually is and where it fits in. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty, walking through the typical workflow, digging into the all-important step of data modeling, and then the fun part, making that data tell a story with visuals.
All right, let's dive right in. Before we can really build anything cool, we have to understand the tools we're working with. So let's answer the fundamental question. What exactly is Power BI? And why is it such a huge deal in the data world today?
At its heart, Power BI is basically a bridge. Think about it. It connects the messy, chaotic world of raw data on one side to the world of clear, smart business decisions on the other. It's way more than just a tool for making pretty charts. It's a full-blown platform that lets you connect to your data, clean it up, shape it into a meaningful story, and then get that story into the right hands.
Now, this is super important to get. Power BI doesn't live on an island. It's a star player in Microsoft's bigger data platform, which is called Fabric. This means it shares foundational pieces like the OneLake data lake and the data activator. What that really means for you is that your Power BI reports can talk to and use data from all over the Fabric ecosystem seamlessly. But Power BI still has its own specialized tools of the trade, the desktop app for building and the service for sharing.
And that brings us perfectly to the core ecosystem of Power BI. To really get good at this, you have to understand the two main places you'll be spending your time, Power BI Desktop and the Power BI Service.
The difference between these two is absolutely critical. Here's the easiest way to think about it. Power BI Desktop is your workshop. It's a free app you install on your machine, and it's where you do all the heavy lifting, connecting to data, building your model, and designing the look and feel of your reports. Once you've built your masterpiece, you publish it up to the Power BI Service. The service is the online gallery, the cloud platform where your reports live so you can share them, collaborate with your team, and control who gets to see what.
And let me tell you, Power BI Desktop is an absolute powerhouse. You can connect to a staggering number of data sources. You get the Power Query Editor built right in, which is an incredible tool for cleaning and transforming data. But the real engine under the hood is DAX. That stands for Data Analysis Expressions. It's a formula language, kind of like what you see in Excel, but on a whole other level of power. It's how you create the sophisticated calculations that really unlock deep insights from your model. The Power BI service, on the other hand, is all about getting those insights out there in a controlled and scalable way. This is where you set up workspaces so your team can collaborate. It's where you schedule your data to refresh automatically so the reports are always up to date. And it's where you handle all the serious enterprise-level stuff, like row-level security, which ensures people only see the data they're supposed to see. It's the governance layer. So, we know the tools, but what's the actual process like? How do you go from, say, a handful of messy data files to a slick, interactive dashboard? Well, it turns out there's a very clear four-phase workflow, a kind of standard roadmap that every good Power BI developer follows. The process is actually incredibly logical. Step 1, you connect to whatever data sources you need. Step 2, you shape that data. This is where you use Power Query to clean it, fix errors, and get it ready for analysis. The third step, and you could argue it's the most critical, is to model the data by setting up the relationships between your different tables. And only after you've done all that do you get to the final, fun part, reporting, which is where you actually build the charts and visuals.
Okay, let's just hit the pause button and zoom in on that third step, modeling. Why? Because you can make the most beautiful charts in the world, but if your data model is broken, your insights will be wrong, period. This is the structural backbone of your entire report. Get this right and everything else falls into place.
So this right here is the modeling view inside Power BI Desktop. When you first pull in your data, one of the really cool things Power BI does is it tries to help you out. Its auto-detect feature scans your column names and often creates these relationship lines for you automatically. It's a great head start, but you always want to double-check its work. And this is the goal, a clean, fully connected data model. These little lines between the tables are everything. They're what tell the Power BI engine how sales amount from your sales table relates to calendar year from your date table. Without these connections, if you tried to put those two things in a chart, the numbers would be completely meaningless.
Now, when you're working with these relationships, you're going to hear a technical term, cardinality. Sounds fancy, right? But it's actually super simple. It just describes the relationship. The most common one by far is one-to-many, and the analogy here is perfect. Think of one book having many pages. One customer can have many sales. One product category has many products. See? It's just that simple.
All right, we've done the foundational work. Our data is clean, our model is solid as a rock. Now it's time for the payoff. It's time to actually visualize our insights and make the data speak.
So let's imagine a real-world scenario. Your sales manager comes to your desk with this request. It's a classic business question, right? And it's exactly the kind of thing Power BI is built to answer, not in days or hours, but in minutes. So here we are in the report view. It's pretty intuitive. We've got our big blank canvas in the middle, our palette of different charts and graphs over here in the visualizations pane, and on the far right, we have all of our data tables perfectly modeled and ready to go.
And now, watch how fast this all comes together. It's literally a three-step process. First, we click on the column chart visual we want. Second, we find our sales amount field and just drag it over to the value well. Third, we grab calendar year and drag it to the axis well. And boom, just like that. In less than 10 seconds, we've built a visual that directly answers our manager's question. That's the power of having a good model.
Okay, let's zoom back out and wrap things up by focusing on the key features and takeaways. This really gets to the heart of why Power BI has become such a dominant force in the world of business intelligence.
When you boil it all down, Power BI's success comes from a few key things. It's incredibly fast to get started with compared to old-school BI tools. Because it's cloud-based, there's no massive infrastructure to set up. The reports aren't static, they're highly interactive, which empowers people to explore the data for themselves. And all of this is built on a platform that can scale to enterprise levels, keep your data fresh, and deliver insights to any device.
So if you remember just one thing from our discussion today, let it be this. Power BI isn't just a charting tool. It is a complete end-to-end platform. It gives you a seamless workflow that takes you all the way from the raw, messy reality of data to the clarity of an interactive report that can drive real, actionable business decisions.
Which really just leaves us with one final thought. Every single data set, no matter how big or small, has a story buried inside it. The only question is, are you ready to listen? Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, like, and share, and don't forget to hit the bell for more from Tech, AI, and beyond.